So, I don't know if you've heard, but Michael Jordan, no, not Michael B. Jordan, Michael Jordan, the basketball icon from the Chicago Bulls, yeah, he came out with this 10-part docu-series called The Last Dance. I mean, I've seen it. I feel like a few other people might have seen it. It was whatever, I guess. LeBron is better to me. So, my producers came to me, and, they said, Akarsh, the fans really want to see a documentary about your life. This is what the world needs right now. So, in my endless generosity, I said sure. And I spent the past few days looking through childhood and recent videos to show my growth. And a common trend I noticed was a lot of awkwardness stemming from, I guess, since day one, really. So, without further ado, I present to you the most awkward and least photogenic documentary perhaps ever made. Karsh was born on June 14th, 2002, in Patna, India. The youngest of two siblings meant he often had to share the spotlight with his older brother, Purv. I was always told that I was a friendly and amicable kid growing up, and looking at the pictures, I definitely agree. A lot of smiling, a lot of laughing. I just wanted to have a good time, and I think that's something that's really carried through with me for the past 18 years, really, is how I just want everyone around me to enjoy themselves. Yeah, I've known Akarsh for quite some time, and he's definitely interesting. There's just something about him. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's just not quite right. Something about the way he just looks at you. I don't know. But nice kid, yeah. I was born in India, but we didn't stay there for very long. We moved when I turned 1 year old about, and we lived in Malaysia after that. And after that, we ended up moving to the United States, specifically Boston. And in between that, we were traveling here and there to Singapore and China, and we visited the US a couple times. That's good. That's good stuff. Still, despite my dislike of traveling, it's very important to me because while I may be here in the United States, most of my extended family still lives overseas in India, back where we grew up. And to me, it's very important that we visit as much as possible because, one, who knows how many times I'm going to be able to visit them, and two, is just, I miss them. They're my family, and they're not just aunts and uncles and cousins. They're like an extension of my parents and my siblings. Yeah, I can understand Hindi pretty well, and I speak it too. But it's always so strange that when people find out, they suddenly go, oh, can you speak Indian for me? No, I can't. First of all, Indian is not a language. And second of all, you can't just put me on the spot and expect me to start spitting out verses, Yeah, he can barely speak Hindi. I'd honestly put him at just below a first grader's reading level. Yeah, I remember my first day of preschool. I think I made friends pretty quickly. I was pretty popular back in the old days. Yeah, I remember the first day of preschool. Homeboy cried for his mom for the entire day. He graduated from preschool at the top of his class, after proving that he truly excelled in all skills, such as finger painting, pretending, and being an all-around stud. These are traits he kept with him as he started real school. Hard work to achieve his goals was paramount, as few things mattered more to Akarsh than his grades. This would also be his first formal graduation ceremony, but it would not be his last.
Wait.
A lot of kids, I feel, go through phases of things that they're interested in. And you know, they'll hop from maybe they play soccer, and then baseball, and then basketball, and then they get really into reading, and then drawing, and maybe writing stories, and all this stuff, you know, dressing a certain way, and then changing it completely. I didn't really have any phases. I found things that I liked, and I've stuck with them to this day, pretty much. School's always been important to me. It's always been something that I'm good at, and I pride myself on it. My grades always been good. Really good, actually. And I'm not saying this to flex or anything, it's just, it was something that I was naturally good at, and I'm not usually quick to pick up on things. So I found something that I excelled in, and I stuck with it. And I started playing tennis because my brother played tennis, and my dad would play with him. So not wanting to be left behind, I used to come tag along with them. And I will be honest, I was never good. I wasn't good when I was 6, I wasn't good when I was 10, I was not really even that good when I was on the team, but it's fun. Yeah, we actually won league champs 10th grade for tennis. That was a really good team. It feels like the all-star team looking back at the people who were on there. At the time we were just a team, but from the top we had Shri and Harith and Jamin, Winston I believe was there, Shreyas, myself, the great Justin Long. The trumpet was another thing that I did because my brother did it first, and I just wanted to do it better than him because I thought I could, and sibling rivalries are funny. But that's hardly the point. The point is, band is something I've done every single year since the 4th grade, and I've made some great friends along the way that I'm still friends with, and I learned, you know, discipline and practicing. Yeah, I'm good at the trumpet. I'm not warmed up, but I can play you something. Let's see. This is a good one. I definitely have preference for science, specifically physical science, and that's something that something that's resonated with me since as long as I can remember. And that brings us to Science Olympiad. This is by far the club that I have the most love for. Yeah, I've been competing for 4 years, and I started as just a new freshman kid who was an alternate for one of the teams to being the eventual co-pres with Will. And I have a bit to show for it. And my personal favorite one being this medal from States. This was awarded to me. It's testament to my hard work that I put into this club, and there are a lot of late nights, I'm gonna be honest. Kind of rough sometimes having to grind through note sheets and builds and God knows what else comes up, because you know there's always going to be problems arising. But I had my friends there with me to help me through it, and we suffered together, and it brought us all closer together, and I wouldn't take it back, and I have no regrets. I mean, on one hand, I was impressed because, you know, he'd come home from school at maybe 5:30, and then he'd like eat something real quick, and then he'd do homework until maybe 1 or 2 in the morning, and then while most people would go sleep or something, he would then start working on his Science Olympiad stuff. And you know, like just over there in that corner of the room, he worked on a plane by himself until it was time to go to school the next day. So I admire the dedication, but at the same time, what is wrong with you? So there were a lot of times my parents would have to force me to do things, and usually I hated them all. But there is one thing that I'm glad my mom forced me into doing, and that is taking part in a dance for the Hindu temple we attend. I have no problem performing on stage if I'm playing an instrument, but any other type of performance I could not do for the life of me. But it was through this that I met some great friends. Probably one of the best friends I've ever had, Shaylee, like an older sister to me. And I would have never gotten that close with any of them if I didn't get forced into doing this dance by my mother. But yeah, you know, it doesn't hurt to be good at dancing. Some people even say, you know, they love a guy who can dance. And well, you know, here I am. No, he's not good at dancing in the slightest. He looks like a wet noodle. But I think doing the dancing with all these kids, it really helped him come out of his comfort zone. And for that reason, I noticed he went from never speaking to anyone to not knowing when and how to shut up. Alright, we have to address the elephant in the room. That picture, you know, the one. If you want my honest opinion, it's honestly a toss-up between this and the whole Brennan attachment. I think I would pin this as the lowest point in his life. Awkward picture, man. Leave me alone. Just leave me alone. I don't want to talk about it. I remember seeing the photos for the first time and just looking at it and thinking to myself, you know, he's never gonna live this one down. And he didn't. No. It looks so uncomfortable. It's like he's never taken a picture before. Like, honestly. Myself, Dan, Will, and Trace, we would go to Trace's basement, and you can't tell anyone this, but we would stay the night and we would drink so much Bang energy. It was insane. I didn't think it was humanly possible for one person to drink so much caffeine at once.